Hey guys, welcome to our review of Gridman, episode 1. As always, I'm your host of Frozen Stratos. Here with me today we have
The Cinder Blaze.
my dude, welcome back. We just got done watching this episode over on the GoMango channel, but here on Animango, we're gonna review it, and I enjoyed this more toward the end. And I feel like we had a lot to say in the watch along about how the opening was like just saving money, saving the budget for some of the money shots at the end, and I was pleased with the ending.
Yeah. Like honestly, for me, I actually did enjoy much of the beginning because I kind of liked their characters a little bit, and
Yeah,
even though they did have a lot of the anime tropes, they're kind of poking fun of it
yeah.
as well. Like when that one scene when he goes to school and he's like one of the chicks is like, "Oh, so you have memory loss now, so you're like a transfer student, huh?" It's like,
But then also he's like just one seat shy of the typical main character spot at the window to look out longingly out the window.
yeah, and
Yeah.
honestly, I really enjoyed the cast I got at the beginning.
Yes.
Um,
It like the voices, the voice cast they use, they really feel like real people. It sounds like real dialogue, like
yeah,
it's not all useful information that they're spouting. You can hear in the background they're just talking about random stuff, and it really helps to sort of fill out the or the mind, the space, and like make you feel like this is a real world and it's taking place where people exist. Like
yeah,
it's not just, you're not just watching a show, you're enjoying an experience, like their story or a day in their life. So it was
yeah.
really interesting to see that.
It
um
kind of builds character in a way.
yeah. And it really builds the believability of just the universe, like it's lived in,
Yeah,
we
one
get
thing
to
I really
feel
enjoyed
like we're there.
was the interactions between Rika, the black-haired chick, and
Uh-huh.
her mother.
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
it was of no significance to the plot. That's just
Hmm.
how normal people kind of talk to each other. Also,
Hmm.
their voices were super realistic. The mom
Yeah.
actually sounded like a mom, and like based on what her character kind of feels in relation to the other ones, we have Utsumi who's kind of the nerd who's kind of really hyped about all the Gridman stuff, and then we have our
Hmm.
main character who's kind of the innocent, shy, you know, protagonist.
Hmm.
Rika's kind of more of the grounding character, and in the first episode they kind of set that up real well, you know?
Hmm.
She sounds like that kind of an actual typical high school girl as opposed to an anime one with,
Hmm.
she has to have that unique little quirk to her.
Yeah.
When she goes to school, she's like, "Oh, everyone's talking about us. Can you just just chill."
Yeah.
The way she just has the whole thing. It's not a
Hmm.
stupid tsundere tirade or
Yeah.
whatever. It's
And
those
I
feel nice.
I also like how, like, coming off of that, um we don't really touch on like the really quick cuts that they went through. Like, to me, everything, I just took in all the information and the atmosphere. But really what they did was they streamlined the storytelling and really just gave you everything you needed, all like the bare minimum information you need, the most important information in those scenes. They let some of them play out, they let some of them breathe for a little bit, but overall it was really like streamlined, cut so that you got all the information. And like, I don't know, I think it was done really well. I said it was
Yeah.
like, oh man, could you stop being artsy and fast for a second? I'm a real dumb boy and I can't read fast. So but
Yeah.
I think it ultimately was to streamline that information, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I know one thing we'll bring up is one scene where the volleyball smashes his fucking hot dog sandwich thing, and the scene just sits still for probably 5 seconds. Nothing's really happening at all.
You could feel the budget leave the scene.
Yeah, but I don't know. I found that like really funny the way they just kind of like
You just stayed there.
and like there was like that other scene when like they were having the conversation and it was literally just like one panel change between like the dialogue,
Hmm.
like just like their poses would change and like nothing else would kind of like really
Yeah.
like like those are kind of like budget saving things, but
Hmm.
they also did kind of work in the scenes that they were in. They didn't feel like overly like
Yeah.
artsy. It
Yeah.
fit the scene that they were in, and
And not just that, like the scenes we stayed on and some of the panning shots that we got were beautifully rendered.
yeah,
Like I think it was like, oh man, did you the scene of the sink? I don't know why, but like, yeah, oh shoot, that sink looks really cool. Like I didn't think I'd be saying this at the end of the review for this, but here I am saying that I really like the view of the sink that they showed us. It
yeah,
looked really pretty and or
yeah. Like
not pretty, but
this,
like real. It grabbed you. Like there was information like please recycle and all that stuff, and like some things weren't working. It's a real life thing, you know. It's not manufactured. It's not like pristine and clean like just a random school would be, you know.
yeah, and despite how realistic they try to portray it, when we kind
Hmm.
of like go to the more fantasy elements of the
Hmm.
series, the way that kaiju just like tosses shit around, like it was like like when I kind of like see the budget being used in that, I'm like, oh shit, that's hell expensive. Why are you doing that type of stuff? But
Yeah.
like it really like fits the whole mood of the episode.
Mhm.
It's like, oh shit, like the cars just being like stuck on the side of buildings, the
Yeah.
way that, oh man,
Yeah.
that kind of
But
just
the thing that took me out of it at the end was there was sort of that mass panic, and I feel like there's something missing, at least on our end, because we don't read Japanese, we don't know Japanese, but there were those message boards saying like a whole bunch of stuff happened. But then we cut back immediately and everything snapped back into place. We didn't get time to really like feel the loss, feel that people had died or anything. And I understand from like the viewer's perspective, uh, like they know that they're not going to let this plot point stick, the destruction stick. So we won't let the audience know too much about that. We won't let the audience feel it too much. But we didn't let the characters react to it in a way that I thought was believable, you know?
yeah.
uh Especially the girl, like we got the most reaction out of her, but she said it herself, she didn't know if her friends were okay. They very well could have been dead, but
Yeah.
you know, and we didn't really feel the weight of that. The mom just sort of walked in, oh no, oh, okay, good, you're fine, I was just, you gotta answer your phone. Like there was an entire monster shooting fireballs who knows where. An entire
Like
school got destroyed, you know.
okay, honestly though, like the way that they were kind of responding to it, like even from like the news media side, it's like it's happened before. So maybe like it isn't like the most serious thing. This is our
Uh-huh.
first like Gridman series of something like that has showed up before. Because I remember we
Mhm.
saw like that one character who's kind of like stalking the protagonist and the girl like earlier on in the episode. It looked
Uh-huh.
real creepy. Like at the later parts of the episode, he looked like he was like a former protagonist from like a previous series. I was kind of like watching Card or something, but
Uh-huh.
you know, we still don't know that. And
Yeah.
to go off like an earlier point that you made, where
Mhm.
they didn't let us like feel the suffering that happened
Yeah.
because they knew that they were gonna like wipe the
Yeah.
slate
Yeah.
clean, and they didn't
Yeah.
want the audience to kind of like feel like let down because like we kind of like
Uh-huh.
had all that
Yeah.
and just had a wipe, just like what that's stupid.
Mhm.
But instead we got like this kind of like forceful like team creation, and
Yeah.
like that was like my biggest gripe with the episode. Like I
Mhm.
didn't understand like especially when she starts typing, it's like, "Ah, I feel your words." Like I'm pretty sure like that stuff will like like come up later, but just like wait, but why? It like it happened a little bit too fast, and it didn't make much sense because they didn't really
Uh-huh.
set up enough of what the Gridman was for that to have any significance. Like honestly,
Mhm.
like they didn't even need to kind of show him pushed to the corner. Just like have him like have fun with his powers, and I don't know, like the team stuff can probably come later once they know a little bit more about the powers. But
Mhm.
apparently, they want this core to be somewhat established
Yeah.
because at the end of the episode, we're just like, all right, well, we're gonna leave, and another kaiju comes up, and just gonna like barge into your shop, just do the thing. So
I do like in that scene you reminded me. It's another one of those things where like you would get that trope of like them choosing the name just then, but they sort of like stifle that and don't give you that. Like, is it gonna be SSSS Gridman, or is it gonna be something like they would have just given you the name and like said, "Oh hey, it's the title of the show, you get it." But they didn't. They sort of upended that the idea. I don't know if it's a trope, but they upended that idea and just continued with the scene. Like it reminds me of Spider-Man Homecoming, where you saw them leaning towards things that older Spider-Man movies would have done, and then just went, nope, not doing that. Don't worry about it. We've already done it. We're doing something different. Don't worry. So
yeah,
it's that mentality that I go into this thinking, okay, this is something new, it's fresh, it's going to challenge your expectations, and I'm ready to I'm ready to be challenged. I want to watch this.
yeah, like it's clearly aware of the tropes, so we know
Mhm.
that like at least the writers would be like conscious of like kind of like not overdoing it because
Mhm.
they've already shown some restraint in this episode.
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah, like honestly, for like the whole like team like being formed, especially for like the SSSS Gridman, since it has like four S's, I'm assuming like once that
Yeah,
other
so
chick
it's like two
joins the
boats
group,
smashed together. Huh?
I didn't get that joke, but I'm assuming once like they get four members together, that's when they'll officially form the group because that one chick in class is way too important looking to
Oh
not
yeah.
be. Like despite that, like one character I really do want to see uh kind of have some spotlight is that one volleyball chick that has completely destroyed the hot dog and like I want to return dark for her.
Uh-huh.
Because the kaiju was going berserk when those stray fireballs did kind of like fly right towards her. I was like, you know what, I'm not sure if karma works that way. At least like that's very like
She is to the hot dog as the kaiju was to the school. Foreshadowing.
oh man. That is an excellent point. I can see.
Yeah. And then it stopped for a moment. The scene stopped for a moment, and then it went on as it normally would have. I don't know. Probably nothing there. Probably reading too far into it. Guys, thanks for watching. If you like this episode, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to hear more from us each week here on Animango. And hey, if you want to watch our watch along, as in watching the episode with us, head on over to GoMango. The link to that will be in the description and at the end of this video to watch the watch along with us. Also, the links down below will have a link to our t-shirt shop that has our Gentoku translated shirts, and also a link to my Inktober Twitter posts that are going on right now. So if you want to check that out, go ahead and do that. Guys, thanks for watching. Keep it juicy.
Yeah. Keep it juicy. So you don't have to think about these outros. Sometimes you just copy paste what the other person said.
You know what? Honestly, this is one of the best discussions I think we've had.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I know it went long, but it like everything